It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Alexa Scott, the Canada Olympic speed skater. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good today.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in the sport of speed skating?
Yeah, I lived in like a small town in Manitoba when I was young, so there wasn't really a lot of like options for like sport back in the early 2000s. So it was like, if you're a girl, you went into figure skating. If you're a boy, you played hockey. So I went into figure skating, and I never really was like super passionate about it. I loved being in the rink. I liked the ice. I loved skating, but it wasn't really my thing per se. So my figure skating coach actually recommended I try speed skating because I love to skate, but I didn't like doing like the spins and the tricks. So that's how I got started. I got recommended from my figure skating coach to go try a different sport.
What was it like, obviously, starting figure skating and transitioning over into speed skating?
I was pretty young, I guess, when I switched over. So I was 9 when I switched from figure skating to speed skating. So I didn't find it too hard. I was still pretty young, kind of like a sponge, could pick up new skills. So I found it pretty easy to cut the figure skating technique because I wasn't very good at it. So.
What was it like, obviously, competing in the World Junior Cup in 18, 19, and 20?
It was really exciting. I obviously knew I could have had that opportunity when I was a junior, and that was what I was training towards, is like trying to like further your career, and by furthering your career you can skate internationally. So yeah, it was like a huge honor. I get to like kind of get some of the rust out, some of the young jitters out. So yeah, I had a really successful junior career, and I kept getting better every year. So that was super nice.
What was it like, obviously, going to the 2021 Canada Long Track Championship?
Well, we felt super lucky last year to be able to skate it because like obviously COVID had like kind of messed up some of our plans before that. So I felt super fortunate. Also, it was like the first time I'd raced at a really high caliber in quite a long time because of COVID. So I had some great results. I got like personal best in every distance. So that was definitely like a big win for me. So it was a good competition.
What was it like going to your first Canada Winter Games in 2019?
Canada Winter Games is definitely super exciting because it's like a multi-sport event, and like unless you do the Olympics or like Pan Americans, you don't get that type of event. So it was super fun. I actually flew straight from Italy from the Junior World Championship to Red Deer, so I was like quite tired and quite jet lagged, but I had a lot of fun. I like skating outdoors. Obviously, I'm from Manitoba, and we didn't have an indoor rink. Like my teammate Tyson and I, we had a pretty successful game, so it was kind of nice. Like the two of us doing pretty good.
How is it like, obviously, getting to represent the team of Manitoba in the Canada Winter Games?
Yeah, that's huge. Obviously, like representing your country is like a huge honor, but I'm first and foremost like a Manitoba girl. I love my province, and I love everything that they've done for me in the past. And as they continue to do, we get so much support. So it was definitely super amazing. And I think we won 11 gold medals at that games, and like Tyson and I together won 8 of those gold medals. So that was like kind of fun.
How was it like, obviously, after the Canada Winter Games, preparing for the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, you like, obviously it's a multi-sport games just like the Olympics, so you kind of like shows you a bit about like what it might be like. And I had a pretty successful game, so I was hoping I could keep that success going. Canada Winter Games only happens every 4 years, and the Olympics only happens every 4 years. So it's like kind of helps you get into that mindset that like there's a big event that's only going to happen once every quad, and you can like perform in that environment.
How is it like obviously preparing for the Winter Olympics this year?
It was a lot. There was a lot of COVID restrictions. We made it work. My association is amazing in that way that they like kept us safe, kept us healthy, kept us skating. It was my first Senior World Cup circuit this year too, so I got to race some of the international skaters that would be at the Olympics. So that was super exciting. Definitely like a really positive year. We had an indoor oval that we could train in constantly. Got some international races under our belt, had a home World Cup, which helps boost morale. And it was really, really good preparation year, I guess.
What was that feeling like when you got notified that you made the Olympic team for the first time in your career?
It was amazing. My parents were actually down because they live in Manitoba, obviously, and I live in Calgary. And I just like was super excited. I was crying, and my parents were super excited for me because I'm an only child. So like our whole lives were wrapped around this. So it was super exciting, but also nerve-wracking because we had to make sure we stayed safe so we could make it to the Olympics.
Of course, how was that feeling the first time you got the Olympic rings jersey and saw the Olympic rings on your jersey?
Yeah, it was like quite amazing, like when we got to try on all the stuff and everything, because that's when it like really kind of like cements into your mind that it's going to be real, and like this is like the uniform, and it helps you really feel like a team with the other sports and everything. Like I'm a huge winter sport fan, obviously from Manitoba. I'm a huge curling fan, so like I knew that the curlers are going to be there, and like that we're going to have this bigger team. You feel like part of something bigger than just yourself. And in speed skating, obviously, I feel like I'm part of this great speed skating team, but now I had like all the other sports in there too. So it's great.
How did it feel to have the Olympic rings on your speed skating gear and obviously having the Canada flag on there?
I remember so clearly the first time I ever put on a Canadian suit, and it was like definitely one of the best moments of my young life. So just like having the like honor of being an Olympian on top of that, like I don't think anything could compare for a speed skater, obviously. It's amazing. It's like a lot of honor, and it's like a title that will never be taken away from you. So you feel super special.
What was that feeling like having the maple leaf flower on your jersey?
You feel incredibly proud. You also feel like the amount of support, like you don't realize how much goes into an Olympic Games before you go to Olympic Games, like the amount of like resources and people that like help you reach your dreams. So it's just like it's an amazing outreach of support still to this day. Like when I think about it, it almost doesn't feel real. Like I feel like I'm living a dream.
What was that preparation like after you got notified that you made the team and preparing for the Olympics?
So speed skating, we pick our team quite late. I guess there's a lot of other sports that also pick it quite late. So we got notified around New Year's, I guess, and then we were going to fly out to the games, I guess, 10 days before the Olympics even started. So we had to go into a strict quarantine bubble before the games. So we got notified. A few days later, we had to move in. I had a roommate, so I had to move out of my house into like an Airbnb with one of my teammates, Isabel Weidman, flag bearer, 3-time Olympic medalist. So we were living together. We were quarantining. We were just going to the rink, going home. Got groceries delivered. Weren't seeing any of our loved ones or anything. So it was definitely tough to adjust to that, but we made it work. Having the team was definitely super great. So we flew out to China on one of the first chartered flights. We got in there, got our COVID test, everything went well. And I think we had around 10 days to prepare before the games even started. And speed skating lasts the full 2 weeks. So day one, we had racing, and the last day, like some of my teammates had racing. So
Of course, what was that feeling like when you finally made that Olympic dream come true that you had?
as a kid, I always thought that racing at the Olympics was going to be the best moment of my life. And when I stepped on the line, it was definitely exactly what I thought it was going to be. It definitely was the best moment of my life. You just like everything you've ever done to like make it there has been worth something. So it was a great feeling. It was I could see myself in the Jumbotron right across from me. So that was super cool.
Of course, preparing for the Olympics, were there any jitters that you already had before actually the Olympics even started?
Yeah, I feel like there's like always like little things. Like I had some injuries earlier in the season. Like I had some problems with my shins, but we kind of ironed those like out before the games. And the World Cup season this year was definitely super tough. It was our first like traveling with COVID, with all the regulations and everything. My team made it like as they did everything they could. They made it the best experience that we could make it, but it was still like some of the days it felt like a lot. But once we got to China, and you felt super safe with COVID, with the whole pandemic. So we were super fortunate to have that. So
What were some of your favorite memories and moments competing on the Olympics for you, for Canada in speed skating?
Yeah, my 1,000-meter race was my best ever international finish. I finished 12th. It was super well technically race for me. I had like the best race of my career, pretty much. So that was I hold that really close to my heart, the way I performed and everything. I was also the alternate for the ladies team pursuit, and the girls won gold. So being in the middle of the ice when the girls won gold, and like I was actually quite confused because the other Japanese girls fell. I don't know how many people know that, but they were racing the Japanese fell, and I could like see the board, but I wasn't quite sure what I was seeing because the one team hadn't finished. But once I figured it out and they had won, that was a huge moment. The cameraman was in my face because I was just like freaking out for them. So that was great. I love those girls. So that was great being there with them during that. Took them forever to get around the ice to me though. So I was like freaking out over on the one side all by myself until they came over. But
Of course, for my listeners that don't know about speed skating, can you describe what speed skating is?
yeah, for sure. So speed skating is like, it's a race-based sport, like kind of like track and field, fastest time wins. We race, I do long track speed skating, so we race in pairs for all our individual distances. So there's an outside lane and an inside lane, so we have our own lane. We switch lanes on the back stretch, and fastest time wins. The distances are the sprint distances, 500 meter and 1,000 meter. Middle distance, I guess, would be the 1,500 meter, and then ladies long distances, 3K and 5K, and men's long distance is 5K and 10K. So,
of course, what is it like competing in the long distance?
I was I really wanted to specialize in long distance when I was a kid. I guess I loved the idea of doing 3Ks and the endurance that it takes. Like you have to go out on the brink of what you think is too fast, and you have to like really have a lot of like mental toughness to stay there. So quite amazing. Canada's obviously quite successful in the long distance races. Former world record holder in the 10K Graham Fish, he trains like no other, and so does Ted, former world record holder. So they're hats off to them that they can do that long distance.
Who are some of the people that you look up to in the speed skating community?
I'm very fortunate that last year I got to skate on a team of like very strong women. So Isabel Weidman, she's a close friend of mine, COVID roomie. She obviously a multiple Olympic medalist and flag bearer. She's a great person. She teaches me every day how to not only be like a great skater, but be a great person. Valerie Malte, she's like my mom on the road. So she was my roommate all through my first World Cup. So she really showed me the ropes, and I'm like super fortunate to have her there. And obviously like in the world, like big idols, like the normal names in speed skating, I guess. I've always been a huge fan of like Irene Woost. She was Olympic gold medalist this year. Martina Sablikova, and of course, like my classic Manitoba ladies, Sydney Clausen and Brittany Schuessler and Shannon Rempel. So,
Of course, in this previous Olympics, did you ever receive any medals, gold medals, silver medals?
no, not in this Olympics. I was the alternate for the team pursuit, but in speed skating, if you don't race, you don't get the medal. So I was there helping the girls out, and I was super grateful to be their support and to be there for them. But no medal for me. Medals for them.
Of course, what are some of your future plans in the sport of speed skating?
Yeah, I have a lot of big plans, and I really want this year to go to the World Championship and show myself there. Like World Championships has always held a special spot in my heart. All my idols always did super well at World Championships, and I'm quite young still. I'm only 21, so I'm planning on skating towards the next Olympics and seeing how I can improve there.
Of course, what are some of the things that you're preparing now for the next Olympics in Paris?
Yeah, our next Olympics are in Milan, but yeah, I keep working on everything I'm working on, mental toughness and like keeping the body fit, making the body more fit, gaining some muscle. Speed skating is quite a technical sport. There's a lot of easy ways to bleed time, so you got to minimize the way you bleed time. So,
of course, what advice would you give future people looking to get into the sport of speed skate?
I would say like speed skating is a sport for like any age. Definitely like don't be afraid to try it. It's like a great way to stay fit. There's a great community. We're a close-knit community. You just got to take that leap. And speed skating also for like families out there is a great way to help your kids like learn like motor skills that could help them in other sports too. So they don't have to like love speed skating the most, but if they love speed skating, obviously I'm a little bit biased towards that. I want them to love speed skating, but it's a great way just to learn how to skate, help with the motor skills and social skills, because our community is so tight that it will help you out later in life.
What advice would you give people that are trying to figure out whether to do short track or long track in speed skating?
I'd tell them like if you're not higher level, then just do both. Do whatever is like closest to you. They're both like pretty similar in like the beginning stages, and if you find one that you like more, then just do that one.
What advice would you give future people that are looking to represent Team Canada on speed skating?
Just keep your head up. It can get tough out there, but it always works out in the end. And yeah, just keep your head up, believe in yourself, because like Canada's backing us and we're doing our best to support them. So
what advice would you give people that are looking to go to the first time Olympics or even go back to back?
For first time Olympians, don't bring anything. Like bring an empty suitcase. You do not need anything. They'll give it to you. You don't need socks. That's an important one. But in all seriousness, yeah, like you just have to like find a place that you feel like you can get into your like own mental toughness. Because like the Olympics can be really distracting, but you need to find a place where you feel comfortable enough to like refocus yourself for your events. So.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
Yes, I am most active on Instagram at Alexa_Scott, or on Facebook, just at Alexa Scott. I usually post all like the news articles and stuff on Facebook. My mom always forwards them to me, so I just like keep forwarding them.
Thank you again, Alexa Scott, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Canada Olympic speed skating.
Thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Alexa Scott, for your interview, and best of luck in your future in speed skating.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free